Hello guys, my name is Pulkit and as you all know that you were also have watched my first video of our channel, which is Pulkit Diaries, and I would like to say thank you to all of you for watching my video and mentioning your comments, reviews, sharing it with your people and friends and family members. So today I'm gonna make sure that I want to do this video for all the people who can understand the language English, as the last video which I made was in Hindi. So I would like to connect it with all the audiences who can speak and communicate in English, because it is a universally well-known language. And also I have a lot of my friends and my known people, and on their demand and request, that they told me that if you can make the video so that we can also listen and we can understand what you have said and mentioned in your last video that we heard from all of our acquaintances and members of the family in Hindi. So this is the video for all of you, and also people who were watching it yesterday, they are more than welcome to join us back into this video, and they can also mention their reviews, comments, or any way that how they felt and how they got connected. And we would definitely look forward to get more of those instances and situations. So coming to the fact, I would like to begin that during the month of October, my father got the heart attack. It was his first heart attack that he has ever had in his life, and God forbid it should not happen to anybody whosoever is living his or her life. Now, when this thing happened, I was in Canada. I was not here in the country, and I live outside the nation as a permanent resident. So, when I heard about that, I was pretty much shocked and astonished that this thing happened, and I was being told after almost a week. So, one thing that I got to know when he got his first heart attack, because coming from the perspective of him, he is a very good person who takes care of his health and maintain himself at a premium level, at a very optimum level. But during the past 2 years, he was going through some lots of phases in his life. So he had to go through COVID, dengue, malaria, typhoid, and there were lots of other ailments and illnesses that he was suffering. So I wish and pray to God that he has been here for us, and from my bottom of my heart, I wish thank you to him, and I hope that he stays with everybody and showers his blessings on all the people living in this world. Now, when that thing happened, when he suffered his first heart attack, I was not here, as I mentioned in my video right now. So I was being called, notified, and then I had to basically get myself arranged to be with him here as soon as I can. And by the end of the month, I was able to come and reach and see him. But by the time that thing happened, I was being informed by doctors and my family members that he got two blockages in his artery, which are the veins that gets connected to the heart. So there are two and three veins that connects your heart, which is one is the primary vein, which is very interconnected, and in that he got about 85% of blockage in his blood, which led to the heart attack. And also there was 100% blockage of uh, in the vein that triggered the attack on him as well. So the first vein on which he had the 100% blockage was a very much um, like needed the treatment as soon as it was possible, and for that we took him to a very well and big known hospital in our area where I live in Rohini. I would don't want to take the name of the doctor and the hospital that were being involved in this operation and the treatment. So when my parents went to see the doctor, he basically went for a shoulder surgery, which I think I forgot to mention in the yesterday's video. But he went over there to get his shoulder surgery done. But when the doctors analyzed that it was the heart attack, they had to operate him quickly, because it's a heart, and it's the most important organ of the body, along with the brain and the heart. They are the most primary functioning organs of the body of the person. So I have to basically they have to basically treat him at the same point of time, and we didn't had any time to get consulted. which also I forgot to mention in the yesterday's video. So it was a time of reaction and we had to act quickly, because by the time he was in the hospital going for his surgery of the shoulder, he suffered the attack, which we got to know when the doctors went for the operation, and they did the angiography, the testing, which is a medical procedure when a person is going through the heart surgery. So the doctor implanted two stents in his first vein. So the stents is like a spring which goes inside your blood vein, and it lets the blood flow quickly, and it also releases the blockages if there is any one. So that thing got happened, and we were being assured that he has to take care of himself and he has to take care of his diet very seriously, which we definitely, me and my mother and all the acquaintances that we have around, with the support mentally and socially, we were able to get him to the track that was being required. But at the same time, when the operation happened and the post operation analysis that the doctor has to do, so he basically informed my father that he has to take about 15 odd medicines that is being needed for his heart. And considering the situation, we trusted and we put all our faith and trust in him, which I think on a personal level was fine, but in terms of the professional aptitude, I would say that we could have done a bit better by consulting someone else. But during the point of situation when all these things are happening, you don't get enough time, and you don't give yourself enough thought, and especially when um, me and my mother was here when this thing was happening, and I was there in, like, outside the country, which is in Canada. So I was not there, and whatever best my mom and my dad could have managed, they tried to do that, and we put our faith and trust in the doctor also. So now 3 months had passed since that, and we were thinking that okay, he's getting better and better with the time. And as we were doing all the precautions, all the measurements that were being necessity in the diet plan, in his regime, everything was being taken care of by him and by us. And when the time came for him to get medically tested in terms of the heart checkups, which is a mandatory checkup that happens after 3 months post surgery and operation, we went. My father went to the doctor and he prescribed him two more medicines when he was doing the routine checkup. Now, looking at the medicines that he mentioned, my father felt a bit um, double minded that he should take some indication. It was like an indication for him to take a consultant and ask like a relevant doctor in this stream, in this field, that whether the medicines he is taking can be substituted, or it can be worse, it can be a bit lowered, or something which can help his situation getting better, because in the last 3 months he consumed almost about 1500 pills of medicines, which is quite a lot considering a person going through this phase of operation and the surgery. So, but we still had a bit of faith and trust in this doctor, because he was the one who was initially doing all the things for us. And we considered him as like our family member too, coming from the fact that he operated my father in the situation in this time when I was not there, and also my whole family members. Now when we took the consultancy of a second doctor, like a second opinion, we got to know that the medicines he were taking were irrelevant. Most of them, 90% of the medicines were irrelevant. And also he had to implant stents, the spring, which is like a three implantation, had to be done in the second artery vein, in which he had an 85% blockage. And if he hadn't done it till yet, and if he suffers anything like that, he could have not been there. I hope that you all can understand when I say that he could not have been here by that, and I would like to emphasize on that also. Now, when we heard that there's one thing called when a patient is going through a operation, when he suffers the attack, there's one thing called, when this thing happens in your mind, you are thinking that you're getting better, and while you hear the statement, anytime that thing can happen and that thing can trigger the attack also, which was not being taken care of in terms of the positioning of the perspective of a human body who is going through that transition and that phase of himself or herself. So I would want to convey this thing to all the medical staff and support to all the people who are involved in the medication and in every field of life. Think before you give your consultancy and your opinion to a person, because they are putting their relevant faith and trust in you, and you are entitled to give them the service, the care, not only in terms of the profession, but someone above your head, like God, is watching you all and everybody. And I know that there are a lot of doctors and all the medical team during this pandemic, they have done superbly well to handle this situation, and they were our first line workers, they were at the first line of defense and everything that goes with it. We have full support with them, we support them, we believe in them. But there is also a segment of the people that they neglect and they avoid all these situations just because they want to have some benefits and they want to get more in terms of the monetary side and materialistic side of the things. So this was the one thing that definitely was an eye opener for me, my family members, and for everybody. Like, we hear these things every single day, that all these activities, the black activities, they happen on daily basis, but when it happens to you, it triggers you. And I can feel that whosoever up till now has gone through that phase of life, I can feel what they go through. Now, this part, when this thing got done, we quickly had to take an action. We have to take some consultation this time around, because we learned our lesson in the first place, that this doctor with whom we are consulting, that is also a very big doctor in our country, and he is being applauded and awarded magnificently. And he gave the statement that if you consult this situation with the other doctors, you will get the same opinion as well. And although we trust that doctor, but still, just to be sure, because of our experience that we had in the past, we have to definitely take the consultation this time around, and which we did. And when we did, we got to know that yes, this doctor was right, he was 100% right. And fortunately, we and my father, he had the medical insurance. And this is my second um, situation that I would like to bring it up to you all, which I did in my previous video, but that was in the Hindi version of the language. So this is much more universally understandable language. So that is why I've chosen English as a medium, given fair respect to all the languages in the world. And so when we took him to the hospital this time around for the operation, because it was being needed right away. This thing happened on Saturday, the operation. So the doctor was really hardworking, and he was very diligent in analyzing the situation. And the operation went for 3 hours. And now, one thing that I would like to mention in this operation, that the two stents which he implanted in the first vein of his heart, those were displaced, and they were not properly releasing the blockage from the vein as well. So the 100% blockage for which the treatment had to be done was still left untreated because of his practice or her practice, because I don't want to take the name or the gender of the doctor who treated my father in the very first place. So that was another shocking thing for me, and because of that, my father had to go through a huge blood loss. And fortunately, um, he was able to do all the operation. The second vein was also being treated. They had to implant three stents, so in total, they had to implant five stents in his heart, in the veins, in the arteries. Now, we were happy that the operation went through, but we were not very happy with the situation, that we as a family and the people around, the relatives, the acquaintances, all the knowns and the well wishers, all the close ones, they were very unhappy with the situation when they heard of this. And my dad is very strong and is very strong willed and determined, and because of his will, that I think he was able to go through that phase of situation. And the very next day after the operation, we had to take him to the ward, or like a room where they would have kept him in the observation. So when we went to the hospital, attendants or the reception area or the reception desk, they told us that because of the insurance that we have, the medical insurance that my father has, he was being entitled for the single room compensation and reimbursements, for which the insurance company will take care of. I would not like to take the name of the insurance company also, because they were good, and hats off to them for keeping their word for what they said. But still, I would like to keep it very confidential. And at the same time, the hospital, I would like to bring the fact this thing that when we mentioned this fact to them, they told us that because of the COVID, the single room for which my father was entitled to get in the insurance package, he cannot get that room because of the COVID. So we have to take a double size room and we have to pay double money for that. Now, given the fact of the situation, I decided to stay here in the country when I came in October, and thank God I stayed, and that definitely proves that things happen for a reason, and my decision was taken was right in to be with my family during these tough times. And but coming to this point, that when they said that we have to pay double to get the double room because of the COVID. Now, one thing I mentioned to the person working at the desk, that I have no issues in paying the money. I can pay the money if it is justified. But my only question to them was, will the COVID be partial, or will it be pretty much biased when it comes to spreading himself or herself in a single room or a double room or a triple room, for which you are denying us that you cannot provide us with the single room because of the COVID? I know that there are a lot of people who are watching this video, coming from any nation or any country. I hope that and pray that you guys have not gone through this phase, but deep in my heart and in reality, I can pretty much say that we all go through these kind of situations and phases of life, which is the utter reality and the bitter truth. So, when I mentioned this point to the desk and the reception, they said that it give them let us give them some time and to think, and to see of what they can do, and they will wait for a patient to be discharged there and then. I objected that how can you say now that there's a patient in the COVID room, for which you were just saying to me that in a single room you cannot have any COVID patient, and you have closed the single rooms because of the COVID. So they try to twist and turn these points, but the reality was they were trying to lie to me, to my family members, and to the hospital, and to the patients, to the family of patients who are putting so much of faith and trust in these institutions, medical institutions and hospitals. And yes, I can say that I did had some like financial stability to pay that amount of the money that they wanted, but there are a lot of people in this world who cannot pay that sum that they were asking us to pay, and which is unfair, because there is no substitute for human life. The quality of human life should not be ever compromised based on such situations. Now, the little pause that I take open two things for me. One is, and the lesson that I've learned, that never go by the first opinion of anything that you do in your life. And yes, you incorporate those opinions coming from anybody or from in any field, but yes, you can make your decisions, but yes, they are the right to give your opinions, and you have the right to hear those opinions, because opinions do matter. And this life is a collective life, It's the life of not only a person, he is a father, he is a husband, the mother is having a son and the daughter, and there's a relation between a husband and a wife. So when one thing like this happens, there are a lot of relations in this world that goes at stake. So this is the reality, and I have a request, a humble request to all the people who are involved in this field or in any field to take this matter very, very seriously. And if you guys at the medication or at any institution, if you have a situation like this, you can let at least the individual know that this is the situation and we have to do the operation. But before doing that, we would like to say that if you guys want, um, you can take an opinion or not. We can leave it up to you, because ultimately if we want to get operated, we will, but we don't want to have a situation where we are going through this kind of situation that I had to go through, that my family has to go through. And there are a lot of people in this world for whose family I'm watching this part, that they are going through these phases of life and they are being harassed, they are being demotivated, and at the end of the day they are being left untreated. And there's a bad consequence that goes for that, because not only things that happen at the ground level between all our human level is not being watched. Yes, it is being watched by the powers that is above our head. There are spirits, there's a karma, and there's a destiny. So I believe in the God, and I'm thankful to God that we were able to come over this situation. And I pray to God that to give his blessings and shower his blessings to all the people in this world. So I'm going to wrap up my video here by saying that God bless you all, and I hope you all stay safe, healthy, and blessed. And I would like to request you all also that if you can please subscribe or like or watch or review or comment or share this video with everybody, so that we can all vouch for the people who are in power to at least have a ear to this and do something about it. Have some support, have some chat, have something available that a person who is not able to attend or go to the hospitals or in the medication during these kind of situations, they are being at least given a chance to consult someone, no matter, even if it's not physical, even if it is virtual. And these kind of things should be at least with the minimum charge, because yes, the consultation people do take, but definitely if there's a treatment that needs to be done, I don't think there is an individual who will compromise on the treatments being left untreated. So thank you guys to all of you who is watching this video. And as I have said, that I would like to request you all to put up this situation and share this with all your friends and people, and to whomsoever you can spread the word, to make this world a better place and a better living. Thank you. I hope that you all guys stay safe, healthy, and blessed. Goodbye.